Welcome to Signal Post Daily, your human-curated, AI-delivered tech and AI news briefing, episode 4 for Friday, October 24th, 2025.
All right, what's the big story today?
We're looking at a pretty significant moment in social media right now. Meta has just integrated generative AI editing directly into Instagram stories, which means users can now type text prompts to completely reimagine their photos and videos with preset effects and styles.
Okay, so when you say reimagine, what exactly does that mean? Like, I can type, make me look like I'm on a beach, and it just does it?
Basically, yeah. You type a prompt describing what you want, and the AI handles the visual transformation. It's preset effects and styles, so it's not quite as open-ended as something like Sora 2, but it's still pretty powerful for quick edits right on the platform.
But here's what bugs me about this timing. OpenAI just started opening up Sora 2 to more users, right? This feels like Meta is in panic mode, trying to keep people creating on Instagram instead of jumping to other tools.
You're not wrong about the competitive pressure, but I think there's actually a strategic difference here. Meta is pushing this into stories specifically because that's ephemeral content. It disappears in 24 hours. So they're banking on people wanting quick, easy edits for throwaway moments rather than polished final content.
Okay, that makes sense. But I have to ask, is this going to become useful for actual creators? Or are we just going to end up with an Instagram full of weird AI-generated meme templates? Because one of those is genuinely cool, and one is just, visual spam.
I mean, both are probably going to happen. But here's the thing. When you give users a new creative tool, you always get this initial phase where people just mess around and see what's possible. Then, some creatives actually figure out how to use it meaningfully. The question is whether Meta has the tools sophisticated enough to keep people engaged past the novelty phase.
Fair point. And I'm guessing Meta is also thinking about this as a gateway to more generative capabilities down the road?
Absolutely. This is them testing the waters with their user base. If people embrace it in stories, they can roll it out more broadly. Think editing entire reels or even creation from scratch. It's the beachhead for something bigger.
Interesting. So this isn't really about stories. It's about Meta positioning itself as a generative AI powerhouse before the market fully consolidates.
Exactly. And that gets even more interesting when you look at what else is happening in tech today, because we're seeing this push toward AI integration across the entire creative landscape. Speaking of which, Electronic Arts just announced a pretty substantial partnership with Stability AI to integrate generative AI into the game development process.
Wait, EA is diving into this? I mean, I guess that makes sense, but what does that actually look like? Are we talking about AI creating game art, or is this something deeper?
So the partnership is designed to empower developers and designers with AI tools to explore new creative possibilities and essentially reimagine how games are made from the ground up. It touches on everything from concept art to asset generation to potentially workflow optimization.
Okay, but hold on. There's something that really doesn't sit right with me. Who actually owns the creative work if an AI tool generates an asset? Is it the developer? Is it Stability AI? Is it EA? That's a huge question, and I feel like nobody's really answering it clearly.
That's actually a really fair question. And honestly, the legal landscape around AI-generated content is still being sorted out. But EA and Stability AI are framing this as a creative augmentation tool. Like, the developer is still making all the creative decisions, AI is just helping execute faster.
But we've heard that story before, right? Every company says AI will augment, not replace. Right up until it does. I mean, think about what happens 5 years from now when you can generate entire game environments in minutes instead of months. Does EA still need as many level designers?
That's a really valid concern, and I don't want to be naive about it. But here's the thing with gaming specifically. There's still a ton of creative vision and direction that has to come from humans. You need someone deciding what the game is actually about, what the player experience should feel like. AI can help with the grunt work of implementation, but the soul of the game still needs human input.
I appreciate that, but I'm just saying we should watch this space carefully. Because if EA figures out how to use this to cut development time and costs significantly, Other studios are going to follow. And then you're looking at a real shift in how the industry operates. What's next? Automated podcast generation?
No, podcasts are safe. You just can't take humans out of the loop there. For video games, though, you're absolutely right. Game development is notoriously grueling. If AI tools can reduce crunch and let developers focus on the creative direction rather than repetitive asset creation, that's potentially a good thing for people working in the industry. But there are definitely risks we need to monitor.
Fair enough. So, what else is happening today?
Microsoft just unveiled what they're calling the Copilot Fall Release, and it comes with this new feature that's got people talking, an animated AI companion called Miko.
Miko? Like an actual animated character that follows you around?
Yeah, so the idea is that Miko is designed to be more personal and human-centered. The companion is supposed to help with collaboration, integration with external services like Google, real-time assistance while you're working. It's meant to feel like having an AI partner right there with you.
Okay, I have to be direct here. Is this just Clippy for the AI era? Because I'm having serious flashbacks to, it looks like you're writing a letter. Would you like some help? That creepy paperclip haunted an entire generation. And I'm nervous Microsoft is about to repeat that mistake, but with more sophisticated algorithms.
Ha, that's fair. And I think the internet is having the same reaction, honestly. The Clippy comparison is unavoidable. But Microsoft is arguing this is fundamentally different, that Miko only appears when it's actually useful, that it understands context better, that it's not going to be intrusive and annoying.
But here's my concern. Doesn't that depend entirely on execution? And doesn't Microsoft have a pretty mixed track record on knowing when AI assistants are actually helpful versus just obnoxious?
Yeah, that's a really valid point. I mean, the technical capabilities here are impressive. Better collaboration features, Google integration is actually useful. The AI can handle more complex tasks. But the Miko thing is the risky play. If it's popping up constantly, if it's jumping in when you don't need it, if it's misreading context, we're immediately back to Clippy trauma, and that's game over for adoption.
So essentially what you're saying is Microsoft built some cool features and then attached a potentially catastrophic idea to it?
Not exactly. I think Miko could work if it's truly reserved for moments where it adds genuine value. But yeah, it's definitely the wild card here. The fall release is robust, but Miko is going to make or break how people perceive the whole thing.
That's interesting because it kind of ties back to what we were talking about at the beginning. Companies building these features assuming people want them, without always getting that right. Clippy is the ultimate example of that assumption being catastrophically wrong.
Exactly. And I think that's a lesson worth remembering as we move through all these AI releases. Just because you can add something doesn't mean you should, or that users want it. Okay, but speaking of things users might actually want, Google is reportedly testing an AI feature in Google Photos that's pretty wild. They're working on an AI-powered meme generator that lets users insert their own faces into classic meme templates.
Wait, so I can take any photo of myself and just drop my face into a distracted boyfriend meme or whatever?
That's basically the idea, yeah. Google's leveraging generative AI to create personalized memes from your photo library. It's not publicly available yet, but this is what they're testing in the background.
Okay, so here's what's really bugging me about this whole day. We started the episode talking about Instagram AI editors. We're ending with a Google meme generator. Both of these are tools designed to make our social media posts more extreme, more artificial, more ridiculous. And I keep thinking about this trajectory. We went from posting literally everything on Facebook and Twitter to curating our highlight reel on Instagram to now basically just creating the most outrageous fake content possible.
You're identifying something that's genuinely concerning about how social incentives work. The algorithm rewards engagement, and engagement flows to the most sensational, most extreme content. AI is just accelerating that dynamic.
But doesn't that worry you? I mean, we already know misinformation spreads faster than truth. We know outrage drives engagement. And now we're giving people tools to generate infinite fake content designed to be as memeable as possible. That feels like we're just turbocharging the worst parts of social media.
I mean, it does look like that on the surface. But here's where I might push back. Sometimes when a trend reaches its absolute extreme, you get a cultural backlash. People get exhausted by the nonsense, and there's a genuine shift in what feels authentic or cool or worth engaging with.
Do you really think that's going to happen, though? Or is that just optimistic thinking? Because I feel like we've been saying, surely people will get tired of this for like 10 years, and instead we just keep getting more of it.
That's a fair challenge, honestly. I think it depends on whether younger users rebel against this stuff. If the next generation gets tired of Instagram being wall-to-wall AI-generated absurdity, we could see a pendulum swing back toward real moments, authenticity, things that actually matter. But that requires a critical mass of people deciding the current model isn't working anymore.
So what you're saying is we need people to get so fed up with the garbage that they demand something different.
Yeah, basically. Social platforms have shifted before based on user sentiment. MySpace wasn't inevitable, Facebook wasn't inevitable, TikTok wasn't inevitable. They all emerged because people collectively decided they wanted something different from what existed before. So it's not that we're stuck in this trajectory forever, but we also can't just assume the pendulum will swing automatically.
I guess the one thing I'll say in favor of the Google meme generator is that it's at least honest about being fake, right? Like, it's not pretending to be real content. It's explicitly a tool to make ridiculous AI-generated memes. There's something almost refreshing about that level of transparency.
Yeah, I'll take that as a small win. If nothing else, these tools are forcing us to have conversations about what authenticity even means in a world where you can generate convincing fake content in seconds. And I think that's actually valuable, even if it's uncomfortable. That's what we're tracking in AI and tech this week. Instagram getting generative editing, EA partnering with Stability AI for game development, Microsoft betting on Miko, and Google building meme generators. The through line here is that companies are all racing to integrate AI into content creation and creative workflows. And we're all going to be figuring out what that means for authenticity, employment, and what we actually want from these platforms going forward.
Thanks for walking through all that with me.
Thanks for bringing your best skepticism. And thank you, friends, for listening to Signal Post Daily. We'll be back tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. This is a 7-day-a-week podcast because the tech and AI landscape never sleeps.
If you have any comments or questions, please email us at feedback@signalpostdaily.com. We'd love to connect.
Take care out there, and come back tomorrow for a more entertaining take on tech news for the weekend.
Bye-bye.